Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here. You guys know what time it is. Time to talk about current events in the online fitness community. And yes, I'm back, guys. I haven't made a video for about a week. And while I've been chilling, away from making videos, a bunch of people have messaged me about the Jason Genovas situation. They said, hey, I know you don't want to do current events very often these days, but you won't have to watch any videos for this. This is what's going on. What do you think? Maybe you should cover it. Or they just wanted to alert me to it, like one of my clients sent me stuff. But now that I'm settled in, back to making videos, and before people jump up and say, Jason, but there's been videos uploaded. No, I haven't uploaded any videos this week. I've turned videos that were private into public. But I have right now at least 100 videos that you guys can't see. I have 100 videos waiting to either be uploaded or to go public. So don't assume that because something appeared in your feed this week that I uploaded it this week. Promise you I've not uploaded any videos this week. Haven't filmed this week. But now that I'm back at it, I looked into the situation, and this one's a little bit different. It's because I know Genova. I've had conversations with him. No, he doesn't have my phone number anymore. I don't want him to have it. I don't need those phone calls at 2 in the morning asking me for money from the Iron Extortionist. But it's a different situation because I don't have to sit around and watch a bunch of YouTube videos because I don't want to watch YouTube videos. I think I've watched fitness-related YouTube videos. In 2020, I've watched maybe 2, and I'm just not interested. So when people ask me, hey, this person or Greg or whatever, they said this, what do you think? I'm like, I really don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. I'm not competing with them for anything. We're not even drawing the same sort of clients. Like no one who would go to any of these people for coaching services would come to me, and my clients wouldn't go to them. Now, some of these guys that you guys do ask me about, I have some of their former clients. But a little bit different. We're not really competing for business. They're not saying anything that's interesting to me. I don't care about bodybuilding, right? Other than to make fun of it or call it stupid. I don't care about it. So because I don't care about it, I don't really cover any of that. I only care about the strength stuff. And even then, if I want strength stuff, I'm not going to go to YouTube these days for it. Because realistically, how many guys are there on YouTube who really understand strength training, who are making videos regularly? Not saying there aren't some guys who understand it. How often do they make videos? They're very rare. And they're not saying anything that the rest of us who are strength coaches don't already know. So it's not really interesting. I don't care to watch any of it. I don't care about this community. I care about doing my own thing, documenting my training, making videos, coaching clients. But I know Genova. And this one's, so it's a little bit different. And I don't have to watch YouTube to do it. People have kind of said, hey, this isn't cool. His family shut stuff down. We've seen his stuff. He's talking about his uncle kept his money. And his life is ended, has ruined his life, everything else. That's terrible. It's like, well, that's Jason's interpretation, guys. All right, keep that in mind. That is the way Jason's interpreting it. Now, I have personally dealt myself firsthand with very significant amounts of internet stalking. People say, oh, it's trolling. No, it's not trolling. Trolling is when it's only online. Stalking is when it goes off the internet. Okay, do you understand the difference? Stalking, when it starts going to the phone, to the mail, to your home, to your neighbors, right? That's stalking. I've dealt with my share of this. And by the way, for those who jump up and say, is it veterans? No, not one person, because I have names of a bunch of people. Not one of these people served in the military. They're not veterans. Okay? So, it has nothing to do with it. As much as people would love to make it that way, not really. That hasn't been the case. They're generally mentally ill people, right? They're generally mentally ill people. And that's the problem that Genova and his family are going to deal with. And that's what I'm going to talk about here for a moment. His family is probably, some of them are new to dealing with some of this nonsense. They're probably being stalked. They're being harassed. And they're looking at this situation. And what people have to keep in mind, Jason does not legally have control of his own finances. Okay? You need to understand that. Not going to go into specifics of anyone's interpretation of what his special needs are. It's irrelevant. He does not have control of his own finances. He does not. And I want people to think about that for a minute too, who want to obsess over the guy or make fun of him, or people who justify guys like Piana slapping him. They're like, oh, he drives a car and stuff. He's an adult. It's like, no, he's a child. Okay, he is not legally completely an adult in every sense of the word, at least legally. Okay, other people have control of his finances. He's just not allowed to control his own money. Right? His family do with his money what they think is in his best interest. That includes his YouTube money because he doesn't have the legal access to it. So I think they're probably, most likely what has occurred, some of them are like, okay, this nonsense has to stop. We need you to go off the internet for a bit. We need to take the channel down for a bit. It looked like they had taken his Twitter and Instagram down, but they're back up from what I can see as of this moment. At the time of me starting filming this video. That's probably what's happening. You know what? That's actually quite reasonable. Because again, my own firsthand experience, I have a very, very good idea of the way that these people on the internet who are going through their own mental illness and their own crisis. And you know what? I actually would like to believe that a lot of the people who do this is not going to be something wrong with them forever. You know, a lot of people go through their bouts of different things. They go through their bouts of depressions. They go through their different problems, and eventually they work through them. And maybe for some of these people, this is their outlet for some of that in the meantime, while they're working through those dark times. Not justifying it because it's not right. But it is a sign of mental illness, right? To be that obsessed over people on the internet that people go to those extremes. It is a sign of mental illness. And well, I guess we're going to have to deal with the noise. Part and parcel to living in a big city. I'm going to keep filming. I'm going to roll with it. I was hoping at 4:30 in the morning there wouldn't be any noise on a Saturday. But I'm going to keep it rolling. They're dealing with these mentally ill stalkers. Okay, I have a pretty good idea of the sort of stuff they're probably going through. And they're probably going, all right, enough is enough. Let's just have you chill from the internet for a bit and see if it helps. Now, all of us who know how this works knows that that won't help. This family are going to learn that firsthand also. In fact, the fact that they haven't deleted his social media when his family's being harassed is going to maybe push trolls even further. Trolls from the internet who turn into stalkers usually like to give you lists of demands. And if you don't meet their list of demands, they get worse. And usually their list of demands usually include as their stated goals, again, my experience and the way that I've seen these people work with other people, is for their intended victim to commit suicide. That's usually their end goal, okay? Again, I know this firsthand. This is the stated goal of the people who hate me, right? This is their actual stated goal, is for me to commit suicide. That is the only thing that will make them happy, right? That's their end game. And it's probably going to be the same thing with Genovas people, because that's how basically cyberbullying rings operate. That's generally 90% of the time, that's their end goal. And they actually are sometimes successful. There have been quite a few cases of success. So people need to understand that when you start looking at cyberbullying and stuff, you need to understand cyberbullying rings don't exist to expose people. They don't exist to call people out. They don't exist for fun and games. They exist because they want that person to commit suicide. That's usually the end game, right? Hopefully you guys have researched enough, you understand that. So it's why it's not really that funny. It's not really funny or a joke, because even if you get involved in the middle of some of those things, you may not understand that the people who are really pushing it hard full time, that is their intended result. And so if they're taking it to his family, that's kind of the idea. It's like, let's push his family. That's what they're probably doing. They want to push his family to put more pressure on him to take all this stuff down to drive him into a deep depression. Because they like that. And they like having that degree of control. Like, there's nothing that a cyber stalker loves more than when they get someone to do something that they want them to do. That is basically the ultimate prize for them. So they pushed enough that they got his family to change his behavior, change his accounts, put stuff on private, right? So they're probably not going to stop. They're going to kick it up a notch because that's how these people operate, right? You can't ever give in to their demands, and no one around you can. That's usually, again, what they try to do is to get other people to negotiate. They'll do stuff like, if you just do this, we'll leave you alone, right? And then when they get the desired result, they're good. Like, they're happy. But they usually get worse because it empowers them. So right about now, the people who are doing this, they probably feel very, very empowered. They feel very empowered by this because it's a very, very sick game. And it is malicious. It is intended to be harmful. So it's unfortunate that Jason's caught in the middle of this. And a lot of people, again, I've had people say, well, it serves him right. I mean, he's stirred up stuff. I actually had someone say that to me in a message. They had said, well, you know, he did stuff that contributed to some of your stalkers getting worse. And so therefore he deserves it. It's like, no, 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 no. Absolutely not. All right, and that's a messed up line of thinking, and here's why. Number one, two wrongs do not make a right, okay? Hopefully we all agree on that, that we're all mature enough as adults. It's a lesson I've had to learn myself the hard way. Two wrongs do not make a right. So if something bad happens to me and someone else contributed in a very mild way to that occurring, and then the same thing happens to them, that's karma or justice. No, that's not a good thing, right? It's not a good thing. Number two, this is not a person in control of their full mental faculties, all right? This is a person who doesn't fully grasp as a full adult the consequences of their actions. So that doesn't, how do I put it? That should never make someone go, oh yeah, that's funny, he got what's coming to him. Well, no, that not really. Nuh-uh. So I guess what I would say to anyone out there who has that line of thought, that's incorrect thinking. All right, that is not an acceptable way to think. And I would certainly say that if there's anyone out there who felt like doing that on my behalf, please don't do that. All right, please don't do that. I can say as someone who has dealt with this sort of nonsense, I don't wish it on anybody. I don't want anybody to experience it, ever. I don't care if they're my enemy. I don't want them to experience it. It's not right. And I actually hope laws get changed a lot towards it in the future, right? I actually hope that laws get pushed further with some of the stuff to where it becomes a real thing, to where cyber stalking is an offense where people go to prison for. Now, that doesn't mean that it would be retroactive. So people need to keep that in mind. It doesn't mean people who did stuff in the past to me or my loved ones are going to go to prison, because laws don't apply retroactively, right? I'm talking about in the future, though. Again, it's very malicious. It's intentionally harmful. It's very damaging. And I think it should be an offense people go to prison for. It's my opinion, right? And it's absolutely wrong. And so it's never okay to say, well, this person deserves it, or that's what he gets for doing whatever on the internet. Guys, this is a special needs person. He's on the internet being special needs, right? That's not something for which a person needs to be punished. Again, if you don't understand that, okay, if you don't understand that, you probably need to seek psychiatric help. But as far as his family doing this, I understand. This is actually a reasonable response on their part. Jason's not going to take it well. He's not going to take it well. But it's a reasonable response by his family for now. All right, guys, well, that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.